Now you've probably been thinking about tracking your fitness, your sleep, and you're like, which technology should I buy? The Apple Watch, Oura Ring, or the Whoop strap? Which one is best for me? I've been wearing all three devices and more for the past 3 years. And I'm gonna share my thoughts, my perspective on what I've learned, what I really like, and is either one worth your money. First, we'll talk about the comfort and feel in terms of their hardware. When it comes to which device do I recommend, I think it's the one that you're actually going to wear. So if you look at the Oura Ring, it's a ring. You wear it on your finger, it's very small, it's bigger than most rings, but it's a ring. If you look at the Whoop strap, I wear it on my bicep almost all the time. Check out that tan line, but you can wear it on your wrist, and it's more of like a strap. It goes in a big band, depending on where you want to wear it. You can also wear it in your clothes or your swimsuit, but for the most part, you're wearing it on your bicep or your wrist. The Apple Watch, you're almost always wearing it on your wrist. There are things for your bicep, but it's mainly meant for your wrist. They all are of different shapes and sizes. I would say the Oura Ring is obviously the smallest of the three. The Whoop is also relatively small, but there's no screen, but it's still a hardware device. And then the Apple Watch, which I'm going to talk about the Apple Watch Ultra 2, is definitely the thickest one out there. So this all comes down to personal preference. I am someone who does not like wearing rings or anything on my wrist for that matter, yet somehow I still do every day. The Oura Ring, I like it, but I tend to take it off during the day. I take it off when I eat food, and I take it off when my hands get wet or they're sweaty or they're warm, and I put it down on the table or whatever surface is on, and I can tend to forget it, and I tend to not wear it as often as possible. But I do love wearing it at night because it's super small, it's super subtle, and it's out of the way. The Whoop strap, I love wearing it on my bicep. I forget that it's there. As long as it's not wet from like a shower or a workout, it sits there, I forget about it, and I love wearing it on my bicep. The Apple Watch, I like wearing it on my wrist. I prefer to get straps that don't make my wrist all sweaty. Look at that beautiful tan line right there. So I like the Ocean band or the Nike band with holes in it, but I do tend to take my Apple Watch off when I shower, or if I'm just really sweaty, or when I get home and I'm tired and I just don't want things on my wrist. So I'm wearing it most of the time, but I'm not wearing it all the time. That's something where you need to figure out preference-wise. Do you like wearing bracelets? Do you like wearing rings? Do you like having things on your arm? Maybe if you don't know, you need to try it and figure that out. What is your body like? What is it not like? And over time, you tend to forget about these things. Like I still wear things on my wrist, and I might not like it, but I mostly have forgotten about it. When it comes to like putting shirts and jackets on, anytime I'm wearing something on my wrist or my arm, like the jacket can get stuck on my wrist and it's hard to like pull things up. So that's another thing to keep in mind when I'm putting my backpack on. Sometimes my watches or even the Whoop will get stuck when I'm trying to sling my arm through my backpack. So these are other things to keep in mind as well. The Oura Ring, when I'm weightlifting and I'm trying to grab something maybe that's thick or that's firm, right, it kind of gets in the way and my hand isn't fully able to grab it. There's specific scenarios where these devices might get in the way. Next, the battery life and charging. So in terms of battery life in real life, I would say the Apple Watch Ultra gets me about 1 full day, and I usually charge it twice a day. I'll do it when I wake up in the morning and I'm showering, and before I go to bed. I don't leave it on the charger for a full charge, but I just get enough juice to get me to the next stage of the day. And if I know that I'm not gonna have access, I try to fully charge it, and I can get probably like 18 hours of full charge with all the workouts that I typically do. The Whoop and Oura Ring do last longer. They'll get me a couple days. There is battery degradation, which means over time, the battery gets weaker and weaker and doesn't last as long. Luckily, I have a lot of Oura Rings, so the Oura Rings last a bit longer, probably like 3 to 5 days. The Whoop is probably in the 3 to 4, maybe like 3-day range right now. So there's a level of like the Apple Watch, I have a habit, like a daily habit of how I charge, whereas the Oura Ring and Whoop, I need to wait for the app to notify me and then put it on the charger. When it comes to traveling on the weekend, as long as I fully charge, I can get through a weekend without having to bring my charger with these devices. The Apple Watch, almost always I try to travel with it. And then it's like, what do the chargers look like? The Oura Ring, super small, it's simple, it's USB-C. I can go ahead and place the ring on. It will light up green when it's time to charge. The Whoop comes with a charging puck. These can be easy to lose. I know for some reason the Oura Ring charger is always plugged in on the bed, whereas the Whoop does require this to slide on, and you can put it on any direction. It's wireless charging. You can shower with it. If you do get it wet, I'd wait for it to dry before you plug it in. Also USB-C, but this I do need to wear for a few hours, and you can continue wearing it while it charges. So I think that technology is freaking cool. There's no device out there that I know that allows you to charge it while you're still using it. So I think that's really, really interesting. The Apple Watch, your classic USB-C Apple Watch charger. It is magnetic and it will just stick on. If you want to put it next to your bed, you can also turn it into a clock if it's sideways. If you do have the USB-C as well as like a higher wattage power block, it supports fast charging, which is nice, but it does require you to carry that with you everywhere you go. One thing I did wish in terms of the rings is the Oura Ring. There is a competitor that offers a ring where it's kind of like you just slide it in the box, you close it, and this box itself holds a charge. So it's like very similar to the concept of Whoop where you charge the charger. I would love to see this variation for the Oura Ring because then you can charge it in your backpack. You don't have to worry about the ring kind of falling off or moving around. It's just great for travel, whereas like this, it can fall right off. Now, which one's my favorite charger? I would say the Whoop charging puck is probably the best charging experience. As long as you keep this charged, you don't lose it. I have 2 of these. This is the overall best charging experience. Now, these are devices that you wear during your sleep. So one thing I love to ask is, what about waking up? Is there an alarm? Is there a way to notify you that it's time to wake up? 2 out of these 3 have it. Oura Ring does not have any way to wake you up in the morning. What I have noticed is a lot of people love to wear an Oura Ring with an Apple Watch. Seems to be a great combo. This is their new natural titanium, and they pretty much match the color of the Apple Watch, which I think is exquisite. Like, look at that. That's just gorgeous, man. Same color, you could wear both. And voila, now you've got natural titanium all over your wrist. So if you are doing that combination, it's great because you can track your workouts on your Apple Watch and track your sleep with your Oura Ring. One of my favorite combos. But what's neat about the Whoop is it kind of merges a lot of the things that you get on the Apple Watch, so you might not need it as much. So what's nice about the Whoop, it offers a vibration alarm where you won't have to wake up your partner or anyone else in the room. You just need to go to your sleep coach. It's gonna tell you an ideal wake up time, and I can go ahead and turn on the alarm and choose, do I want an exact time, right? If I have an appointment, if I want a sleep goal, like I've slept a certain number of hours, or I'm in the green, right? And I can set the latest wake up time if I really need, if I don't get to that level, like maybe I go to bed at like 5 a.m. today, it will definitely wake me up at 8 a.m. even if I'm not in the green. So that's nice. You can double tap the Whoop strap and it will turn the alarm off. Currently there is no snooze feature, but I would love to see that. It's kind of hard to do because all you really have is like a tap the device. On the Apple Watch, I can say set an alarm for 6 a.m. I like to use Siri to set an alarm if I'm going to bed, and typically I'll set multiple alarms because I'm the type of person who sleeps through alarms. I rarely use alarms now. It is a luxury, but when I do need to use them, I do not listen to them. What I like about the Apple Watch is the new double tap feature. So when the alarm does go off, I can double tap and it will actually snooze the alarm for me, and it vibrates, and I can also turn on a sound as well if I want it on the Apple Watch. So when it comes down to alarms, I typically try to turn on as many devices as possible. I try to aim for 3, whether it's like vibration, lights, and heat. So right now the Apple Watch, I can go ahead and open up the sleep app. It'll give me my sleep stages, my sleep start and end times, and how long I slept. And I love that it gives me trends of like, is my overall sleep duration increasing or decreasing? Right now it's decreasing. I need to work on my sleep a little bit, but we're trying to pump out videos for you. So make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications down below. And if you do plan to buy any of these products, click the links so that way we can help make a little bit more money, and maybe I can finally sleep a little bit longer. But what I need to do is set my bedtime and wake times in the sleep app. Set that up so that way your sleep mode automatically turns on when you go to bed. So that way it does track your sleep, because if you don't auto activate the sleep mode, it will not activate that. And it shows your alarms in the morning, which is really nice. Now this is where the Oura Ring and the Whoop shine. They provide data insights on top of all of that information, so they take it a step farther. So if you're someone who wants to get some insights from a data and fitness wearable, then the Apple Watch might not be for you. The Apple Watch, it is a great fitness tracker, and it is a okay sleep tracker. When it comes to sleep tracking and insights on top of that, the Oura Ring and Whoop just destroy everyone else. So what I do like about the Oura Ring is it'll typically give you a little bit of insights, like a simple sentence to understand what should I change about my behavior. So it's like, hey, your heart rate lowered late last night. Did you eat something late? So I tend to get this reminder a lot, and that's what happens when I eat close to bedtime. So it reminds me that I shouldn't do that. Do I listen? That's for another video. But I love that there are these little sentences, and it's just a great reminder that I should sleep. But when it comes to the Whoop strap, it's slightly different. I love their concept of red, yellow, green. Red meaning extremely bad, yellow meaning not ideal, and green meaning amazing. So if I'm on a yellow day, if I'm in a yellow day, it's like, all right, okay. If I'm on a red day, it's like, what were you doing? But from a visual and a color perspective, Whoop makes it the easiest to understand, was my behavior last night good or bad? Whereas Oura, it's kind of nice. They make it pretty and beautiful and simple, but they offer a little bit of a sentence insight into what could have gone wrong. From a homepage level, these are the 2 different ways that it could potentially drive behavior change. Now, from most of the friends I talk to, they don't listen to these insights. They just look at it, they think it's interesting. So keep that in mind, that that's probably what you're gonna do, and that's totally fine too. But if you wanna dive deeper into it, both of them provide much deeper layers. Oura Ring provides these 2 other tabs of readiness and sleep, and you can see the actual numbers of your heart rate variability, body temperature, respiratory rate. That has been extremely valuable for me, especially like when I got sick once. I could see my body temperature was rising. I think when I got COVID, I could see on both devices that my respiratory rate had increased. When I drink alcohol, I know my resting heart rate increases dramatically. But this is a great reminder of like, hey, you probably need to drink less or not at all. We all know alcohol is pretty bad. As you can see, my November has just been brutal. Usually I tend to do well, pretty good, green and yellow, red. Same thing, we can go sleep, recovery. For both these apps, you can see that information. They give you almost all the same exact data. When it comes to the exact numbers, they are slightly different, so I would take everything with a grain of salt. There was one day where like the skin temperature on the Whoop was +1 and on the Oura it was +1.5. So they're not gonna be perfect. I am wearing them on different parts of my body. There could be issues with like how thick the Whoop is on my skin versus like how tight the Oura Ring is to my skin, or which direction is facing, if the light is actually on the bottom of my finger or side or top. So there are a lot of factors that are gonna impact the data. So take it all with a grain of salt and do not obsess, do not let it drive you crazy, because it drives me crazy every day and I've been wearing these for over 3 years. The one superpower of the Whoop, this is hands down my favorite feature, is the journal feature. I saw Olier, did I say your name right? Olier? He made a video about this and he was like, yeah, I don't look at the journal, and X'd it out.
So I've just woken up, and when you open up the Whoop app, this is what you're greeted with. I'll be honest, I never go through this screen.
And my heart broke. If you're gonna buy a Whoop, this is probably hands down the #1 feature. And this is probably the only thing that you should use. And that is to pick maybe 1, 2, or 3. I have a lot here. Just pick 3, make it simple, of things that you say yes or no to. And you can toggle certain things, like CPAP for me is my 8 sleep. And it's gonna give you a report under insights for what actually helps my sleep and what ruins my sleep. So I know morning sunlight helps my sleep. I'm gonna do that more often. Alcohol absolutely destroys my sleep. So I'm going to still do it the same amount as often because there's societal pressure to keep drinking alcohol. It looks like if I'm in a high stress zone, and consistent bedtime is actually good for me. So these are things that you can learn if you input the data, and 2, some of these are automatic, which is also nice. In terms of recovery, I think the Oura is great if you're someone who is not gonna put in extra work. Like, it'll give you those simple insights every day, and that might give you a nudge. The Whoop is great if you're willing to invest in doing your journal every morning, because when you open the app, it's gonna pop up, and then you're gonna have very strong long-term insights. And over months and years, you'll be able to have tons of data of how you're trending, your exercise, and how different journal entries are impacting your life. So they just go super deep if you're able and willing to input some of that information. Some of it is automatic, it's pulled from Apple Health, which is really cool. Next is stress, or daytime stress tracking. These are probably some of the newest features that are offered on both of these devices. There's something called the stress monitor on the Whoop, and then now there's like daytime stress on the Oura Ring. What they're doing is using your heart rate variability, and a couple other factors to determine your stress levels. So they have this thing where you can go down here, it's a little deep down below, but they have sessions with the greatest health and fitness podcaster in the world, Dr. Andrew Huberman, where you can increase relaxation or increase alertness. And it's all guided breathing. You can go ahead and set the time, the duration, and he will actually guide you through with his beautiful, calming voice. Can you do this on your own? Yes, but having something that's going to actually give you insights in terms of how did your stress levels change, and then allowing you to customize the rounds and the length. This is something that I think is very interesting, and I've used this sometimes. Those are the stress features. I know a lot of devices are trying to add this on. I would be mindful to not allow these stress monitors to stress you out even further. Now, when it comes to fitness tracking on these 3 devices, there is Apple Watch is the GOAT. If you have the Apple Watch Ultra, the Ultra 2 is amazing. You tap your action button to get a workout going. There is every workout you can think of, especially if you're doing like outdoor runs or cycles. You can connect it to a bike computer. You can connect your outdoor runs, can do like custom workouts. So I can actually write like, oh, I'm doing a track workout with XYZ distance and pacing and recovery, and I can do it all on the watch, and it's super easy to follow. It just makes it simple, it's fast, and I can start and stop my workouts right here. It syncs everything to Apple Health. I can extract that data in every other app that I want. And when it comes to fitness tracking, Apple Watch is hands down the best, because I can leave my phone at home. I can track all my workouts from here, and I don't need my phone. The Whoop and the Oura offer fitness tracking. What I love about the Whoop is you don't actually need to start and stop your workouts. You can add them after the fact, which is 1, from Apple Health into your Whoop app, which I did right here, functional fitness. The start stop times are from Apple Watch, but the heart rate was on the Whoop. The Whoop is always tracking your heart rate 24/7. It's like the only device that I know that does that. So you can go ahead and change the times for when your workout was, whereas the Apple Watch, it's only tracking actively when you tell it to, and then when it's kind of off, it's on a passive mode, where I think it does like every couple minutes. Now the Oura is the same thing. It's kind of like passively tracking. It'll increase its readings at night. But if you want to actively measure your heart rate, you can do that on the Oura Ring. You go record workout heart rate, and you do have to use your phone to start and stop. So outdoor run, as long as your location is always allowed on iPhone, you can record the GPS as well from your phone, and then use the heart rate from the Oura Ring. Super cool. Both of them offer Strava integration, so I can sync my runs and my workouts from the Oura Ring to Strava, from the Whoop to Strava, as well as the Apple Watch to Strava. They all kind of integrate in a different way. The Oura and Whoop will use the cloud, whereas the Apple Watch, you actually have to use the Strava app to upload that data from your phone. There are auto features now to automatically upload, but the Oura and Whoop will push it from their clouds to Strava's cloud. The Oura Ring really only offers 5 workouts right now, whereas the Whoop will offer a ton, and now I think they have like F45, they have like Pilates, but there's so many different kinds of workouts, and even recovery stuff like air compression Normatec. Like it integrates with different brands that are out there now. The Apple Watch does have a ton of workouts. There aren't really recovery options, though my favorite like kind of recovery thing that I will use is Mind and Body. I'll use that for any recovery workout that I do. But for the most part, there is also a ton of workouts on here as well. In terms of heart rate accuracy, your heart rate is going to be based on how well the device is connected to your skin. So obviously on your finger is going to be the best, as long as the ring is tight. If you wear it loose, it's going to not be as accurate because of light bleeding. On your wrist, same thing. On your bicep, the thing is, if there's light bleed, right, whether it's because the device is not on tight enough, if it's cold and it's hard for the sensors to get information from the reflection of the light, if the thickness of whatever body part is changing, or if there's a lot of movement. So on our wrist, when you're running, there's a lot of movement, so there's a higher probability for inaccurate heart rate readings. On your bicep, there's less movement. And then the algorithms on top of that. From what I've seen and from like what Quantified Scientist has done, Apple Watch is extremely good at getting your heart rate. The smaller and lighter the device is on your wrist, the better. The Oura Ring is also really good. If you wear it on the finger that they recommend, which is the pointer finger, the other ones can be less accurate potentially. And depending on how thick or thin your fingers are that day, like your ring doesn't change size, but your fingers will. So that's also going to impact it. I found for the most part, most of these trend in the same direction, but because of weather and the tightness of how the device is, those numbers can actually be a little bit more sporadic. If you want accurate heart rate data, I highly recommend you get a chest heart rate strap. Why? Because that's going to use the electrical current of your heart, and it doesn't use any optical sensors to figure that out. It's going to update the fastest, and it's going to be the most accurate. One thing about notifications is I like to turn them off. I don't like them, but there are certain ones that I keep on. So the Oura Ring, I love the inactivity alerts, right? If you've been sitting for a long time. The Apple Watch, I love the stand alert, very similar to the activity alert. And then battery levels. The Whoop and Oura, I try to keep battery level notifications on, but I turn everything else off, because then you just get tons of notifications. Especially if you're like in a Whoop team like mine, where there's 500 people, link is down below, join my Whoop team. If you're in the chat and you're getting every chat notification, it's gonna be overwhelming. So I really do like apps where they allow you to customize and turn off certain kinds of notifications and maybe keep others on, which they all kind of allow you to do that. App, insights, and reports. So from the homepage, most of them will give you kind of overall insights, but when you want to dive deeper, the Oura Ring has like a trends tab where you can go by each variable or by each category type and get trends over time. So I can see kind of my deep sleep over time. I can see the week, month, year. Like I've been wearing these since 2019, so I can see all that information, how it's changed. And the same thing with the Whoop. Like I can see my day to day, but if I want to see trends over a period of time, I can see how it's changed, right? In my time in bed over the last month, maybe over the last 6 months, like am I keeping to a consistent bed and wake up time? Wow, that's actually really cool. They all will provide that in a different visual format, but you can hop around and actually see that data over time. The Apple Watch does that too through Apple Health. And what's nice with Apple Health is I can actually pull in data from my Oura Ring, my Whoop, whatever it is, but I can still see all that information inside of Apple Health. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer to load, but seeing these trends just gives me a reminder of like, all right, am I doing a good job or am I doing a bad job? And do I need to change my behavior and my habits? So I think it's important to see trends over time and make it easily accessible. Try to put it on the homepage of a certain app. Find ways to notify you that you're trending in the wrong or right direction. Those are things that I'd like to see. I know the Apple Watch does a great job of saying, hey, you're trending with less sleep. The Whoop will be like, hey, your strain is a little bit high. You might need more deep sleep tonight, so get some rest. Like these little nudges are very helpful and valuable to make sure that you're kind of making the healthiest decision possible. Now, do you listen to them? That's a problem for another video. Now, social features. So what's really nice about the Apple Watch is you can share your activity rings as well as your health data inside of a different app. So you can go ahead here. I share with a lot of friends on Apple Watch, which is really cool. If I want to share my health data as well, I can share with someone by tapping, and then you can pick which variables you want to share. Like I can share my testosterone levels with a friend if I want to. So that's really cool. It's more one-to-one based sharing rather than like group based sharing. But there are apps that you can download that allow you to do kind of like group based sharing. The Oura Ring didn't have any kind of like social features, but they added circles, which is really nice. So I do have a Health House social right here, and people can share based on their weekly average or their daily scores, and people can see it. So I'm working with a trainer recently, and we have a little sleep score session right here, so they can see how did I sleep last night, what's my readiness, what's my daily activity, and they can help keep me accountable. And I think there's like limits on like 10 people per circle. Whoop, I think, has probably the best social features out of everyone. They have an entire team. You can go ahead and join my team if you'd like. Go ahead and just use that team code right there. I'll try to have a link down below as well. And then you can join my team. You can pop in the chat. Please don't post any links or spam, or else I will kick you out. But you can share your recovery, ask questions, collaborate. I will post things in there before I post it anywhere else. So if you want to see new and cool stuff, join my Whoop team. We can see we're almost at 500 members. Let's try to hit 1,000 soon. But I can see everyone's recovery, strain, and overall sleep. So it's super cool. Like I'm ranking 37 out of 500 today. Love that. But that's not the only social feature. They also offer a Whoop camera. So I can do a Whoop live where I can get my live heart rate, my recovery scores right here, and I can customize what the screen looks like and take a photo or a video. I think the photo feature is best. I've used the video. The only issue is that it requires you to process, and then there's no like in-camera stabilization. So I've like used it, and then I'm like, I don't like how it looks. It's just not the best quality. So I don't use the Whoop camera for video as much, but I think the photo side is pretty good. I just wish they would upgrade it to like feel just as good as the iPhone camera and perform just as fast. But until then, I'm probably gonna use it for photos here and there. Now, when it comes to Apple Health integration, these are all the things that the Oura Ring will actually write to Apple Health, and then it reads a little bit as well. I think that's nice. The Whoop actually will read a lot more. So they actually are able to integrate with other nutrition apps. The Whoop will write a little bit less, but it will read a ton more of your data, especially like nutrition stuff, and it can give you insights based on that. The Apple Watch obviously is an Apple product, so all of the information that gets stored on the Apple Watch goes straight to your Apple Health. It is a little bit more detailed with like GPS data. When I do a workout, it'll record like the location of my strength training workout, whereas like Apple Watch and Whoop will not do that. I have a video on how to optimize your Apple Health. Definitely go watch that. Now, accessories. So all these devices do have a plethora of accessories. The Whoop has a ton of bands in different colors, different places you can wear it. The actual Whoop device is just right here, like this is it. And you can easily go ahead and put on a new band. Before it was a little bit more complex, but now it's pretty quick and simple. Once you figure it out, it's very easy to switch between colors, styles. They do smell. If you shower and work out a lot, as most people who use Whoop will, I do recommend you throw out your Whoop strap. Like I've tried cleaning it, it just doesn't work. Just give up. Just plan on buying a new color, a new strap every like 3 to 6 months and live with it. That's just how it works right now. But they also offer shirts, underwear, shorts, swimsuits, a whole line of clothing that you can wear, and all you need to do is slide this Whoop strap inside. Do I use those? I use the swimsuit, and sometimes I use the workout shorts or the workout shirt. The only issue is once I take the strap off, I tend to lose things, and if I put it in the shirt, then it's like after the gym, I need to swap it back out. I'm like, where's the strap? And then I'm frantic and I'm scared and I'm nervous for my next late meeting. So I end up like just not wearing it after I change the clothes out. So I've just stuck with just wearing the bicep band because that's like the most bulletproof way of me not losing things and keeping it simple. But when I do go swimming, I will wear the Tier swimsuit. I do have the Whoop blue light blockers and the Whoop eye mask. You know, they're kind of like all the other products out there. They're good, they're great. Use it if you want it, but they don't fully integrate with the Whoop at all. In terms of the Oura Ring, they did send me the new Equinox band, which is kind of a rubber silicone band that goes outside of the Oura Ring, and it kind of protects it from scratches. Your ring will develop personality. You're wearing it on your finger, you're grabbing things, it's scratching. That's going to happen, and if you want to protect it, this is the first like rubber layer that goes around the ring. I've never seen like a case essentially for your ring, so I think that's really cool. You can't buy the case outside of the Equinox package ring that they have, so that's kind of disappointing, but maybe it's something to say that in the future we'll see something like that. It's relatively easy to put on, it's very tight, and then you get the Equinox and Oura logo on the outside. But it looks cool, it looks clean, and it still feels really great. If you do want to work out, do weightlifting, or you just want to protect your ring, it's a great way to do that. Other than that, there aren't really any other accessories for the Oura Ring. Now for the Apple Watch, you can get screen protectors, cases, off-brand straps. There's a ton of stuff out there. One thing to keep in mind is like it's really easy to fall off if you go in the ocean or swimming. So I do recommend any high intense activities, you use the ocean band, which gives you double protection. I'm a fan of having no cases, so I don't use a case on my Apple Watch. I just buy Apple Care. And then I think there is like a bicep band that you can also buy, but there's a ton of cool things that you can do with the Apple Watch, which is really neat. But there are cool accessories that you can buy with the Apple Watch. Now price, what are the costs? So they have different pricing models, so it's very confusing. Depends on when you buy it. So right now, there are some Black Friday deals. You can get a discount. Use the links down below, it'll help support the channel, and buy it because they're probably gonna end today or tomorrow. There will be sales around the holidays, so if you're willing to wait for that, do that. Whoop is a purely subscription model. It can range, I think, from like $18 to $30 a month, maybe less depending on the package that you buy, the length of your commitment. The Oura Ring is a single time price plus a small subscription. So that's like a mix of two things. You're like, oh no. It depends on the color that you buy. It doesn't matter about the size, but it will be a one-time payment up front. And then I think it's like, depending on which country you're in, a couple dollars on top of that every month to make sure you access all the data. And then the Apple Watch is a one-time payment. It is the most expensive out of all of them. I have the Apple Watch Ultra 2. I think if you're gonna do anything outdoorsy related or need a start-stop button, the Ultra is the way to go. But once you buy it, you get all the features. There's no subscription. There's nothing else. If you do want to buy apps, like if you want to get recovery scores from Athletic, yes, those are going to add another subscription on top of it. But I would say in terms of cost, all these devices are very expensive, and I would not make your decision based on the price because you're investing a lot of money. I would focus on the features that you're getting and is it going to help drive the behavior change that you want in your life. If it's pure curiosity and trying to understand your body, sure, go in with that, but also realize that you could just get information fed to you and it's not gonna help change your life and it could actually make your life worse. So don't just buy something out of curiosity, buy it with intention. It's a tool. Use this tool to help transform your life in the way that you want it to. Now, my final recommendation, which product should you buy? This is what I tell my friends, and this is what I'm telling you. Subscribe, turn on notifications down below. And that is, if you like wearing something on your ring, get the Oura Ring. If you like wearing something on your wrist or bicep, get the Whoop strap. And if you want something that's more focused on fitness tracking with a little bit of sleep tracking, get the Apple Watch. In terms of accuracy, the insights that you can get, the Oura Ring and the Whoop are very, very close. And a lot of my friends will buy these devices and then like not use them after. So I think the most important thing is that you're actually going to use it. So I buy the one that you know you are gonna feel best wearing from a day-to-day basis, the one that you're going to actually charge because the charging experience fits your personality. And lastly, I think the Whoop offers a ton of deeper features. So if you're willing to invest more time into understanding your body and getting insights around that, go with the Whoop. If you're someone who's like really lazy and you know you're not gonna do that, then go with the Oura Ring. I mainly recommend the Apple Watch for people who want to track their fitness levels. It does a little bit of sleep tracking, but it's not gonna give you as many insights. And the third-party apps, they're just okay. I'm not in love with them. That's why I haven't talked about them here. So if you really want a sleep recovery and fitness tracker, go with the Oura Whoop, depending on your personality type. I'll have the links down below. It'll save you some money as well as support the channel. Since you enjoyed this video, go watch my video where I compared all of the best smart rings and fitness trackers. Link down below. See you next one. Peace.